Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over Angel's defense, and let me hit the music this time so we actually get it playing. He's been bugging me about this one for a while now. He's not in Discord though, so I had trouble getting him on the list. If you want your defense reviewed on Defense Up, please find me in my Discord, links in the description, and I'll get you on the list. I think we've got a couple for this week. We might have some space available next week. I don't know. I'm usually running about 1 or 2 weeks out right now. Anyway, I do love doing these, so please don't hesitate to send them my way. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who are you using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Team number 1 is a weird Emmarauders build. This could be fun. I think that you should get Strife back in here in place of Lady D. I think so. Yeah, or what you might try... replace Wolverine with Strife and bring in Silver Samurai from Lady D, and that way they're all mutant villains, and your Strife will have the topmost speed, and it gets hard for like a Zemo or somebody to come in beforehand and ability block Emma. This isn't too bad though. You've got the best synergies of these two teams. I mean, obviously you don't have Omega Red unlocked, so that's why you're using this. Hey, my microphone's in the shot these days. I didn't realize that. We changed my camera angles around recently, so things are a little different here at Defense Up. Okay, let's see what we can do. You've got Wolverine as a striker, and yes, I finally got to check this. Wolverine does gain speed up on his basic assist counter thing. So making him a striker with some vulnerables on the field is going to make Wolverine a lot faster. It's kind of interesting. We might talk about that in the WepX build. Sinister is healer on Emma. Skirmisher over here, I definitely think he should be a raider rather than a skirmisher. That'll put up plenty of vulnerables for Wolverine to work off of. He has like an extra 40% chance to crit or something like that. So he does a good job in landing those vulnerables all over the field. It allows you to have less people putting out vulnerables than there are people to soak them up when you have a character like this that crits a lot more. And then you got her as a skirmisher. I definitely like her as a striker. So I think you should change her to striker, change him to raider, keep him as a striker. I think this is going to be a fun build. I don't think it's going to have the speed that the full WepX team has. Omega Red does a lot for this team. Without him, they're not that great. I also do think that you're better off with Strife in here that forces people to deal with that situation. It's interesting, it's different, it's going to cause people to stop and think about stuff. They might even make some mistakes. Your ISOs, I really don't like those ISOs though, so I'm going to give you a C for this team. Team number 2, Uncanny with Beast and Storm and Phoenix, of course. Let's see here. Okay, one thing's for sure, for those of you who are looking into the Uncanny right now, don't ever use Storm without Beast. And don't ever use Beast on this team if you have Jubes and Bishop unlocked, because the Axeman is way better than Uncanny. This is still a good team. We're looking forward to maybe some possible changes coming to Phoenix with the Magic character. We're hoping there might be some sort of revitalization there or something like that. Who knows? But this is a pretty, if you don't have Jubilee or Bishop, this is a pretty good way to build this team out, because Beast gives some extra charges on Storm and makes her valid again. Otherwise, you definitely want to be using like Psylocke, maybe a Wolverine on this team if you don't have Omega Red. That way you get a little more damage out of Wolverine. He's kind of fast and damages a lot now. And then Psylocke gives them a lot of evades, which helps keeps this team alive long enough for Phoenix to do her one-trick pony that she's got, which is basically Dark Phoenix. Placement is not so great though. You need to have Colossus off to one side with Phoenix next to him. You want to have Cyclops and Beast on the other side. So I think you should give this a little rotation there, and fix that placement. ISOs on Phoenix don't matter so much. I kind of like her as a skirmisher and Storm as a striker. That way there's a chance that she does take a turn before she goes into Dark Phoenix, throws out a vulnerable, maybe calls that assist off a Storm. You never know, you could get lucky. Then striker for Cyclops for sure. He's all about that one big AoE damaging thing. You don't need to get vulnerables out on this field, because for one thing, you don't have any strikers out there to take advantage of the vulnerables. So all you're doing is allowing 10% more damage for all of your characters. Whoops, just bumped my microphone there. Okay, Beast as a healer is correct, and Fortifier on Colossus is what we are now recommending, much to my chagrin. So change your placement, change those 3 ISOs. You don't have to change these 2. You've already invested, just make them war ready. But honestly, I think you're gonna get better value with Skirmisher and then Striker on Storm. But definitely change the placement. Your power levels, whatever. This team is gonna get rolled by a very small Kestrel. And it's better to have this team, like, if you want to back burner this team and build a Doom Uncanny thing, then that's something to do. Adding Doom into it makes it a way more scary team. But yeah, this is probably going to get rolled by a Kestrel. Interesting enough, though, I'm going to give you a C+ for that one. Team number 3 is the Dad Bros with Sersi in here. This is something I haven't seen before, Sersi with the Dad Bros. She's pretty quick. She's like one of the top 14 speed characters. So that's good. She'll fit in here. This is a really low power team. You're just kind of throwing them together. It doesn't look like you're using them on offense. I would absolutely build this team. I would absolutely build this team a bit, because we need more people with the Dad Bros for our wars. Angel is in our alliance, by the way, so that's why I'm gonna be kind of harsh on him about this. But right now, I mean, it's a filler team for you because it's unusable on offense, so it is what it is. You don't even have ISOs on here. If you're gonna put ISOs on here, it's gonna be... Some people put healer on him, but I don't think that's a great fit. The team's moving so fast and taking so many turns. Maybe healer. Maybe I think Skirmisher's a better way to go. His dupes don't get the ISO bonus, so it doesn't really matter, but I like Skirmisher on him for my build. Raider over here for Polaris. Then on the Dad Bros, they're definitely going to be Raider also. That extra crit chance is what it's all about. They crit, they go faster, they get barrier, they heal up, all that stuff. Sersi as a Skirmisher is correct to be building her for your arena, because Icarus or Icarus is right around the corner. I am gonna have to watch that movie so I learn how to say his name. Yeah, I'm not gonna dock you for this team. It's obviously a filler team. It's obviously just what you've got and you're putting in. You're not wasting anything by putting it together this way. I don't think placement matters too much because those dupes come out with taunts and they filter in all over the place. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you an A for this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing you could do to improve this team without spending vast amount of resources, and it doesn't look like it's a priority to you. Oh, we were rated by Sen Raven. Thanks, Sen Raven. Appreciate it. If you want to join us live on Twitch, by all means, come and join us. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, over here is a Wave 1 Avenger team. Ooh, I really don't like the placement on this. The ISOs are okay other than Hawkeye. Hawkeye needs to be a striker to pair up with her. They do a call-in and combo. And then you got Raider on Thor. That's the way I like it. Other people go striker on him just for the pure damage output. So change this to striker, make him war ready, and then our placement, you're gonna want to go Hulk, Captain America, then Black Widow, then Thor, and then Hawkeye is the placement that you want for that team. You'll get a lot better treatment out of that. As I said many times before, the idea is you put all your taunts on one side of somebody who's invisible. It makes all the damage rattle around back there, building up the charges on Thor, getting the speed meter or turn meter for Hulk and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't like this placement at all. I mean, if anything, put your tanks to the outside if you're going to do something different. So change that ISO, fix the placement. Otherwise, it's a solid team. I'm going to give you a B- for that. Mercs with Shuri and Okoye. What in God's name are you putting that kind of investment into Okoye for? You should know better than building up that member of the Wakandans. I think you're just putting her in there because it's a big number. Is that right? Okay, so... Oh man, I can't stand this. It bothers me. So you need to have Lieutenant in place of Okoye, and then we need to fix your placement. You're going to want to go Shuri, Taskmaster, Lieutenant, Riot Guard, Killmonger. I think that's going to be a better build for you. Let's put strikers on all the Mercs and Skirmisher on Taskmaster, or you could kind of reverse that and put striker on Taskmaster and Skirmisher on the rest of them. Shuri's the only one who should be different as a healer. You could technically see a lieutenant as a healer if you put him in here. See you later, Sunraven. Yeah, but this is, man, Taskmaster's got a copy steal thing on his basic, or he assists on Mercs attacks, so that's why you either go skirmisher on him and striker on everybody else, or the reciprocal version of that. So all right, yeah, this is an absolute disaster right here. I hate Okoye. I think she's pretty worthless. You're not getting much synergy. She works better with Black Panther, and of course that whole thing is just nuts. Don't bother with it. You overinvested in Okoye. That's unfortunate. We can't take that back. And then you've got really lopsided power in here. Like this guy, you have him as a skirmish or a fortifier to try and cover for the fact that he's underbuilt. He's still going to get knocked under 50% with an X-Force. X-Force is going to roll over this team with no problem whatsoever. I don't like it at all. I think this is a big waste of resources. I think you've got terrible ISOs, terrible placement. It's just a disaster. It is better than Shield Guards, so you get a D- for that one. Okay, number 6 is the OG Sinister 6. This is what I like to see. 6 in the 6. Okay. Let's see, we got Skirmisher, Raider, Skirmisher. You have lots of vulnerables on the field and absolutely no striker soaking them up. Why don't we change this guy to a striker, since he clears positive effects? You can get some good use out of that. He's also calling lots of assists. Otherwise, leave it the same. Fine with me. I would like to see Green Goblin in here. I think he's a better pick, and I'd like to see Vulture in here instead of Rhino. Of course, you're not using your X Factor team, so that having Rhino in your back pocket for that offense is kind of pointless. So you might as well leave him in until you do get the X Factor built up. Otherwise, this is fine. It's a filler team. The ISOs aren't that bad. It doesn't really matter. It's just get something in there that somebody has to bring something with synergy into attack. So I'm going to give you a B for that team. There's other things you could be doing to make it better, but it really doesn't matter. Team number 7 is the Guardians, a straight Guardians build. Haven't seen this one in a while. Okay, so you've got Fortifier on Drax. You probably don't need that. He's not that much less than the rest of them. I like that you have lots of power in Rocket rather than anybody else. He's the heavy damage dealer on the team. I don't like the placement though. You need to have Star-Lord off to the outside, then Rocket, then Groot, and then Drax and Mantis. Yeah, Drax with the Fortifier, not awesome. You could make him a Raider. You don't have that much of investment in it right now. I think you should change it to Raider. It will improve it, technically speaking. But honestly, this team isn't really worth even going to like ISO level 4, making war ready. It's just not worth it. Mantis, she doesn't really heal that well anymore. I do like her as a healer, obviously, but she's just not that important. I think a better build is like that Technerva, getting Minerva in here with Vision, or if for some reason you don't have the full Black Order, you could throw Thanos in here and do the old BKT that we used to run. For those of you that don't know what that is, that best Kree team, it was a joke because Minerva was the only Kree on it. Yeah, and then for your ISOs, running the Guardians build, this is pretty good. I like Star-Lord as a striker, but Raider works also. And if you're going to do the Technerva version, then you want to have Rocket and Star-Lord as strikers for sure, because they do triple and quadruple hit combos, and you'll want to change Groot to a skirmisher. Groot doesn't do a lot of healing. He does have healing in his kit, but it's not a lot. I think he's way better as a skirmisher because he does get called in for assists. So this team is pretty meh also. You're trying to, you know, you're a newer player or a smaller roster, either one. You're trying to save your offensive teams and not waste stuff on defense. So this is great. This is what you do when you don't have a big wide roster. You put in teams like this. So no shame in that. And honestly, it's a decent build. You just need to change your placement, maybe tinker with an ISO or two. I think that's a B- team right there. Team number 8 is a Skillitary with Zemo and Winter Soldier. There isn't a lot of synergy with Zemo and the Skillitary team. Winter Soldier, I believe, has the military tag and then has synergy with Zemo. So there's some, you know, chained synergies there, but nothing to get excited over. Again, you probably just aren't running your Skillitary team on offense. Don't have one of them built up or something like that. Don't want to do it. I get it. It's something to throw in here on defense. And honestly, Zemo makes this team kind of scary because he's plug and play. I mean, forget the fact that he doesn't have a lot of synergy here. Zemo's just Zemo, right? You should put your tank to the outside, so swap places with Winter Soldier and Red Guardian. Let's see, Skirmisher on Winter Soldier's fine. Striker on Yelena Baloney is okay. I like her as a Raider. Striker on Punisher is good. Healer on Red Guardian is fine. You could also make him a Skirmisher. And then Zemo as a Raider is okay. I prefer him as a level 5 Skirmisher to make sure that his ability blocks stick. Raider works good too, though, because he does a lot of AoE attacks. This isn't a bad team either. There's things we can do to make it better, but you're not wasting much. I kind of like it. I'm going to give you a B for that team. It's a little different. It's going to cause people some problems. I think they might underestimate that Zemo and have a few issues there. Team number 9 is Symbiotes. Symbiotes are better on offense, but you can use them on defense to pretty good effect. Let's see. We've got Striker, Raider, Striker. That's okay. I like Scream as a Skirmisher, but you already got her in the blue, so don't bother changing that. I run my Symbiote Spider-Man as a Raider also. A lot of people are putting him as a Skirmisher to make sure that his debuffs land. That's okay too. There goes my war alarm. War's about to start here soon. Okay, we're running a little behind on the videos today. We got into a long conversation about rumored characters. You can check that out on my Recycles video. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good. I think maybe swap places with Venom and Scream. Get her all the way to the outside. She's the other squishy character, so that could help. Otherwise, you're not doing anything too bad. I think you could have done better with the ISOs, but it's too late now. It's not worth changing it. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, I kind of like it. I'm going to give you a B+ for this team. It's one of your better defenses. Honestly, though, use this team for offense also. Who cares if you have to field some shield guards in here? I mean, this is going to kick the crap out of somebody. Might as well have fun in offense, you know? Team number 10 is H for H, of course. Here we go with Healer, Skirmisher, Striker, Healer? Okay, are you going to use Shang-Chi outside of this team? If so, then Healer's an option because he does now have healing in his kit. I think he's better as a Raider. I think getting those vulnerables out there, I'm a big fan of vulnerables. And I'm not a very big fan of Fortifier, but I do think you should put Fortifier on Luke Cage because he's so slow. And he's going to die and revive, and you might as well have him revive with that little bit of barrier on there, making him that much tougher to get through. He is a primary target when you come into this team with the Infinity Watch. He ends up being a primary target when you come into it with WepX also, but WepX usually just puts those trauma heal block on him, and then you try to stay away from him so he'll take turns and just lose his charges rather than kill him and revive him. So maybe in this day and age, Healer is a little bit more beneficial. I mean, he does get a lot more turn meter on this team than he would by himself. So it's not a big knock. Also, I like Skirmisher on Iron Fist. I do think you should change it at this point. I think it's going to be a better build as Skirmisher. More vulnerables on the field for people like Colleen Wing to work off of. All in all, it's not bad. I think you're doing pretty good. Try and get this team up to 400. It's more of a back burner build at this time, though, because it's not that important. At 250, somebody could come in with an alternative team and punch way, way down and clear it if they needed to. But as is, I kind of like it. Yeah, build it up, tinker with the ISOs, good placement. It's pretty good. I'm going to give you an A- for that. Probably one of your better teams. All right, this has been Angel's Defense Up episode. If you like what you saw, please like, subscribe. Be sure to contact me on my Discord links below. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and everyone else, too. Bye.